What is going down, everyone? It's time for Mojobreak.com, The Hype, episode 253. Lots of stuff to go over. Lots of things going down in the sports card hobby. $12.6 million card. We're going to discuss that. Michael Rubin out with Colin Cowherd talking about the hobby. We're going to discuss that. This week in the hobby is a hot topic. There's lots of stuff to go over. New releases. We've got Optic Basketball. We've got Luminance Football coming out. And then we're going to end the show talking about breaking myths, stuff that you see on social media that's just not true. So that'll be a great discussion. Thank you guys for joining. Make sure you hit subscribe. Not only do we have the video version, but we're also on Spotify and all your podcast networks as well if you just don't want to look at our faces, which I understand. If you don't want to look at my face, you want to just hear my voice, that is great. What's up, guys? How excited are you guys for football season, by the way?
I'm stoked. Dude, Alex Leatherwood, what happened?
I don't want to talk about the Raiders draft picks.
What happened, dude? Like,
I think this has been the worst.
Wasn't he drafted like 8 minutes ago?
Yeah, this has been the worst draft decade in Raiders history. So,
and the Niners, Trey Sermon.
The
era is over, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll just stack the running back. He just didn't make the cut. So
I don't know about
got
that.
A lot of number ones.
I don't know about a lot of number threes.
A lot of number ones.
Four number threes don't equal a one.
Trey Sermon, I mean, great guy, Ohio State, great pedigree, but just was hesitant to hit the hole. Just doesn't work in the NFL.
Did he ever play?
He did. He got hurt last year and then wasn't really doing well in preseason. So you got to go. Running backs are next man up.
What a crazy time in the NFL.
Yeah, there was a lot of surprising cuts.
The QBs, I mean, 2 QBs from the 2021 class,
Oh,
Kellen
yeah.
Mond and Ian Book both cut, and both almost immediately picked up by other teams. I believe Book went to the Eagles, Kellen Mond to the Browns.
And I mean,
That's a good situation.
could there be a better situation for him?
Yeah, Kellen Mond, great situation for Kellen Mond.
Because
Ian Book, not
Watson's
so
looking
much.
at 11 games, right? So by the time Watson gets back, they're probably not even in the playoff hunt.
I would imagine, no way.
So
Cleveland would hope so that they were in the playoff.
You may see Kellen Mond.
Is this a hot take to say that I think Cleveland could finish easily in last place in that division this year? Like, I do not see them.
I mean, I got to drop this
very well.
since we're talking about the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm not sure if he actually did make the team or not. He probably did. But when you got a guy like Mannion back there,
There
it's hard.
It just makes everybody else look bad.
It's hard to get on the roster when it's just so stacked.
I believe he was cut, but will be signed to the practice squad.
Oh, well, because he's good there, too. He's probably the best practice
they just
squad.
did that because they just didn't want to offend Kellen Mond. Really, the plan is to have him be the backup, but they had to do some logistics just to not make everybody look bad. So Sean Mannion will be the starter for your Minnesota Vikings at this point.
I agree. I mean,
Who needs Kirk Cousins?
We should trade Garoppolo for Sean Mannion. I think that would be a great move.
Let's do it.
that'd
Bring
be-
him back to the
that'd
Bay.
be crushing.
You just at that point, just toss it all in the garbage. All these years of collecting, throw it away.
I would go to a Niners game with a Sean Mannion jersey. I'd be like,
fair.
but I think he was 14. I
Oh.
think he's been 14.
Yeah, Brock Purdy made the team, too.
I mean,
so.
he would go to the Niners, and if he was able to wear 14, best-selling jersey.
14 man. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the best-selling jersey of all time. Speaking of craziness, we've got our Kickoff NFL 100-box PYT break going down next Wednesday. That's the day before the Bills beat the Rams on Thursday Night Football. So kick off the NFL season with this 100-box break. Pick your team. Biggest PYT of all time. I would like you guys
Like
to
of all time.
Of all time.
Like of all time.
Research it. I don't think there's been a
Easily.
bigger PYT ever. We're talking about like 11 different years of product, lots of 2021. We've got 2000 SP Authentic in there. We've got 2011 5-star, 2012 5-star, 2012 products are in there, 2014 5-star, 2020 National Treasures First Off the Line, 2021 National Treasures First Off the Line, 2019 Flawless. It's an insane break, and somebody in the break is going to win 2 Super Bowl tickets to this year's Super Bowl in Arizona, which I believe is February 12th. So great event in Arizona. You know, who you're rooting on to get there. You might win some tickets, which makes all the teams in play. You could get a cheap team, maybe like the Browns, still have a shot at getting a Jim Brown, maybe a good Baker Mayfield rookie card, and then score yourself a chance to get some tickets. Somebody already took that strategy and bought the Seahawks. So they bought the Seahawks probably because they're like, hey, I got a chance at some Super Bowl tickets. We're also giving away Tom Brady signed football. There's lots of stuff. So head on over to Mojobreak.com, find the link for that, and it'll be breaking next Wednesday. So all three of us will be here breaking, enjoying football, talking crap about the Rams, probably talking about crap about the Raiders.
I don't know if we're going to be talking about crap about the Rams.
I'll tell you this right now. Whoever goes to this game, if the Rams are there, I'll meet you there. I'll hang out.
And they'll throw churros at your neck.
And I'll tell you what, if the Raiders are there, I'll meet you there as well.
Don't worry, Doug. You don't have to worry about booking a ticket or anything because the Niners aren't going. Niners aren't going anywhere.
We're gone. Trey Lance the GOAT. We're gone. We'll be there. We'll be
but
there.
Actually, let's talk about. If we're talking about Niners, let's talk about the big Niners signing.
Genius front office move. $6 million for Jimmy Garoppolo.
What a deal!
Best
they can never get rid of him
in the league. Literally, can you say that is there a better backup in the entire league?
Will he play for another team besides the Niners?
No,
maybe.
I think I'm convinced he never will.
I think he is a forever Niner.
Yeah,
he's a wild card right now.
The way it's going right now. There's just no shaking this guy. He's never going away.
He's never going away.
It's never happening.
He's never going away. In 5 years, he'll be the quarterback coach. He will forever be a Niner.
He will be the NFL's version of Udonis Haslem. He'll be 60 years old. And it's like, what are you still doing here? Just retire, man.
We went through 4 rookie quarterbacks since I've been here. He's like, I'm just here to basically do my thing.
He just adds so much value on the bench.
Give me $6 million. $6 million a year. I'll basically hang out.
He brings the ladies in.
He does. He
loves California.
And also,
I get it. I love Santa Clara as well. I mean, why leave?
The Niners don't have to throw away their number 10 Jimmy Garoppolo jerseys now. You get
exactly.
one more year out of them.
Honestly, it makes a lot of financial sense because there's probably a lot of Jimmy Garoppolo jerseys that need to be offloaded.
There's not many. He's really popular, so they're all gone.
No, yeah, they're all gone. But if he's not on the team, who's going to wear the... Actually, Niner fans would wear the Jimmy Garoppolo. He could be playing for the Bears. Hey, there's Jimmy Garoppolo.
There's still cap jerseys out there in the crowd. There's still cap jerseys out in the crowd.
I guarantee you there is so much Jimmy Garoppolo merch that is sitting somewhere in Levi's Stadium that they're like,
we can't.
Boy, if he's gone, this is all go. We're losing a lot of money.
We have $6 million worth of Jimmy Garoppolo swag back here. So, might as well sign him.
So everything evened out by restructuring.
Or they could have used it as a signing bonus and give him all his own jerseys. Here you go.
Here you go. You want 30,000 Jimmy G bobbleheads? Have them.
Just have him stand outside the stadium selling his own stuff like during game day. So, but. Let's get into this week in the hobby. Kylian Mbappe makes some headlines with Panini. We've got some new releases to talk about, so we're gonna head right into that with the new basketball this week is 21-22 Optic, which is one of the top tier products for basketball. C-Rad, tell us what you're excited about Optic basketball.
I think just the clean. I've always loved the clean on card looking autographs from Optic. This is one of the products where. Obviously, I like the base, but the autos are really what shines in the product. Just being able to see the Optic Chrome on card rated rookie logo of these guys is gonna be fun.
And you got photons. Forget about those, man.
Yeah, that's something new that they introduced.
Year.
I think just last year, right? So photon parallels, and they look pretty nice. They are extremely hard to pull, or are they one per case? I can't remember.
They were one per case last year, so I assume. I guess a little bit of controversy. Remember, we had the Optic 70, or what was it, Treasures, or what was that subset?
The 75 years 75th. Of NBA, or 75th anniversary inserts that in Prism basketball had the Optic logo. Now in Optic, they have the Prism logo.
Version.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Cross promotion, cross pollinating.
Yeah, I mean, Panini came out. I think it was about a month or two ago, and they said that we did make a mistake. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put obviously they put the Optic versions of it in Prism, and then they're like, so we're just gonna put the Prism version in Optic.
Nah, man, they should have came out and just been like, you know what, we just do some weird and wacky things every once in a while.
Just keeping us on our toes.
Maybe some eBay breakers will sell Prism spots. You get all those.
Yeah.
And you get all those cards.
Confusing.
Who's people still most excited about for basketball? I know we've had the season's about to start. Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham. Like, what are you seeing mostly in the chat? Like, who are people like, I want this team?
It's still mainly the Pistons right now. I think with the addition of whoever they drafted this past, with the draft with Paolo, I think that the Pistons are still driving the current 21-22 sports cards, because they're usually the first team to go in every break that I've seen.
And the Pistons have been bad for a while, except for that year with Rip Hamilton and
Ben Wallace.
Well,
So,
they had a nice run there in the early 2000s, back-to-back NBA Finals appearances.
Yeah, I think that run went all the way to like probably when the Celtics took over the
with
East.
the big three.
Yeah.
Tayshaun Prince.
So that was a really good run for the Pistons.
Chauncey Billups.
It was also
Chauncey Billups.
like it was not only the Celtics team, but if you remember, it was kind of like. It was like kind of like the Jordan and Piston thing too. It was like LeBron couldn't get past the Pistons for a while, and then he finally like did it, and it was a big deal.
Because that team was like literally all defense at that time.
They
right?
were a playoff team pretty recently with Blake Griffin, if I'm not mistaken, for that
Like
weird
an A
little,
seed, right?
For that very strange little moment where Blake Griffin was a Piston. But like they kind of remind me, and Cade reminds me of like with the T-Wolves from a couple years ago, where it's like they're building towards something, and Cade had a really good second half last year. So I think Detroit as a 7-8 seed is not a stretch.
Well, you know the biggest problem with Detroit was from like 2010 till almost now was the fact they were getting like the 15th pick every year.
Yeah.
Like they
were in
literally
no
would
man's
have
land.
like they weren't good enough to make it to the playoffs, but they were just on the bubble, and they'd have a 15th, 16th pick, and they just weren't really I mean, you had Dembuya, you had guys that just didn't really live up to their hype, and so now it looks like they're on the right track. You know that city's a big basketball town.
A few years of higher draft picks has really helped them a lot.
Yeah, so we'll see them competing. Another new release we got this year. For football is the brand new 2022. I think we've had 4 releases now. Is Luminance, and it's actually kind of newly designed with a little bit more foil on it.
Okay.
You're getting 4 hits, and the cards look great. There've been some vet hits. My only question is, sheesh. Is that an acceptable subset name?
That's the time we live in right now, Doug.
And I think moving forward too. Not saying I know what Fanatics is gonna do with some of their products, but I have a feeling, because they want to cater to the younger demographics as well. They're probably gonna start putting these like weird these young kid phrases.
Let's go
in their inserts.
I'm trying to think of what other card.
Let's go comes out.
Let's have a little
in the next year, right?
Let's go.
Let's go.
It might already be out. We just missed it, but like
let's go, little foil. Let's go, little fireworks. Let's go.
This guy F's. You can put that on a card.
I don't know if we're there yet.
But hey, let's go on a little tangent. What do you think? What are some popular sayings that we could put on a card that like we're thinking for Panini right now?
Oh, brother.
Cap, no cap.
No cap.
Okay,
Yeah, no
all
cap.
right.
Actually, wouldn't be
Even though that's a
Okay,
phrase
well-
that's been around for a while.
You gotta help me. What does that mean?
That means I'm not lying. Like no cap, I'm not lying.
It's like
No,
it's like starting a conversation with, "Hey man, I'm gonna be honest.
Dan's all. No, it means this, dude. No cap.
No cap." Hey man, I really did not know.
You couldn't run that in baseball though, because then it might be, well, why does he have a cap on?
Yeah, no cap.
Yeah.
I'll throw in maybe like it's giving. Like I don't know, you could throw that. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like it's giving blah 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 vibes or whatever.
Yeah.
You could do
vibes.
that. Yeah,
Vibes.
yeah. It's giving.
Vibes is a good one. Yeah.
Vibes. Actually, that is the one. Vibes.
That's the one.
It's too bad we didn't do this like 5 years ago for like the dab insert. I just did a dab.
I feel like
in 2022.
putting
What am I
on
doing?
vibes or vibes has been around forever. Is that new?
It
But
is.
it's definitely taken on a different life. Like you
How
just
about we
say
go
the
back and
vibes.
just
use it in a sentence.
Can we just use like gnarly and rad? Can we just go back to like the
Get off
80s?
your lawn.
Yeah, Doug, when you threw out the like, let's all think of a phrase, and I'm like, what, like our phrases? Like you want me to say like cowabunga right now? Because like
Nar nar?
yeah, nar nar.
Nar nar?
Ninja Turtles.
I don't know what the kids are saying right now.
Fart knocker.
I don't know what's cool.
How about a subset or an insert called "Go Dumb"?
Go dumb.
Oh, man, if there was a Bay Area,
I don't-
if there was a Bay Area only team set or something, yeah, I'm all about that.
I don't
Get
know.
stupid.
I don't
Or
know.
how about
I don't.
just hyphy?
Yeah, I don't.
Just hyphy.
That would have been during that.
maybe
generation.
hyphy. I don't think we can do
Yeah,
go
maybe
dumb
not,
or
maybe
get
not.
stupid. I don't think we're. I don't think
that-
I don't think that's
Some
okay.
players wouldn't understand, and they'd be like, "What are you doing to my name?" Go dumb.
But then it'd be the player though
But
for
then-
the
but
Bay
we
Area.
have-
It'd be like
but we
that's
have
respect.
sheesh.
I know. I can't use it, man. I'm sorry. Get off my lawn. I'm 40. I'm a man. I can't use sheesh. I just can't do it. I just can't. I've adopted phrases that are
and that
a lot younger
essentially
than me.
means like wow, right?
Basically.
Like, whoa.
Yep.
I see, but I still use it like, oh, sheesh, like, oh, like,
I still use that.
brother.
I still use that version of Sheesh, but I have adopted this new Sheesh.
Yeah,
as
yeah. I
well.
probably would more likely use that, but this one you got to go up.
I would. There's a lot of other words that I would use.
This
that
one
are,
you
that are
gotta-
not acceptable for the show.
to do. Yeah, right. To do this the right way, you almost got to like squeeze your sack, so you go a little bit higher octave, right?
Sheesh,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Like because the way you said, I was like sheesh, like that, but not like
Yeah.
this is sheesh.
Doug-
You got to get up.
Doug, you just made me think of what maybe is going to be the #1 insert ever. Anytime an active player in a sport is still playing in that sport at 40 years old, get the I'm a man, I'm 40 insert.
Yes.
Albert Pujols, the I'm a man, I'm 40 insert. The Tom Brady, I'm a man, I'm 40. 5 years running.
Yeah.
With Tom, 6 years running.
I'm building that subset.
I would love that. Give me. I want the all I'm a man, I'm 40 subset of Brady and Pujols and who do we got? We already mentioned Udonis Haslem, second mention on the show today.
Can you put over the hill like up there?
Did you see that? Speaking of I'm a man, I'm 40.
Players unions might have something to say about that.
Leather helmet era?
Yep.
Ancient. No, it says reminded me of a tweet I seen, and you might have even retweeted it, and I'm probably gonna mess this up, but I think it was like 20 years ago. Albert Pujols, Serena Williams, and then Albert Pujols hit a home run. Serena Williams was in a game, and Vladimir Guerrero Sr., Dante Bichette, and Biggio,
Craig Biggio,
right?
all
So
had
then
a
it's
hit.
like 20 years later, you had Albert Pujols hit a home run again. Serena Williams in the game. You had Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Kevin Biggio, and Bo Bichette, all doing the same things.
All got a hit in the game. Yeah, pretty wild. Pretty wild.
It was really wild. I was like, wow, that's where we're at. 'Cause
Time. We're all getting older,
all-
and yet Serena and Albert still doing their thing.
Now,
How about-
Albert Pujols probably played in the same era as Dante Bichette.
Right at the tail
And
end.
probably when Pujols came up, Dante Bichette was probably ending his career.
Yes, almost definitely. Vlad and Albert were almost contemporaries, basically.
Yeah.
Vlad started a little earlier.
A little bit earlier,
but
but
basically
not
contemporaries.
probably maybe 4 or 5 years earlier.
Yeah, just about.
But they were in their prime. They were probably all-stars.
Oh, for sure. They went to a lot of. They
Yeah.
were in a few home run derbies together. In
Yeah.
fact, I want to say.
Yeah. So, sheesh.
Sheesh. On a side note, Dan, our friend of the show, Doug Plagans, said that you need to listen to the Bad Religion Christmas songs.
Ooh.
So said
that's
you might
right.
I've
might
seen-
change your opinion on Christmas songs. man.
I've seen Bad Religion live. I think that would actually be pretty good. I'm good with like good bands making Christmas albums. I just don't want to hear the same songs that I've been hearing for
Your whole
pretty
life.
much 40 years.
I also failed to mention, I believe it's out there, Master of Darkness Christopher Lee, who formerly played Dracula, and also you probably know him from Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, did multiple like spoken word metal albums, and did one of a spoken word Christmas metal album, and it rules. So
Wow.
there, I'll throw that into the ring.
That is
Sounds
insane.
that is super niche.
Sounds good. Yeah, it sounds like it's going after a very specific demographic.
Very specific demo, i.e. me.
So Mbappe signs an exclusive autograph deal with Panini. I know people have been hunting for Mbappe, and the rumor was that he wanted too much money, nobody wanted to sign him, or he just didn't want to sign autographs. Well, the deal is done, and they will arrive for the FIFA Road to the National Treasures FIFA Road to the World Cup product, which will
Huge.
release in September, followed by the Prism FIFA World Cup in October, and Eminence in December. So they did announce
We're just
Eminence
going
Soccer.
in. We're going in big.
We're going in big with
We're going in
Mbappe.
big.
This is going to be crazy, though, because it's going to be like essentially his first rookie. I mean, he's not a rookie anymore, but it's going to be his first autos, which should command a premium.
Did they release the details of the deal, like how much he was getting for this deal or anything like that?
Did we get any
double-check.
details on that one,
I'll,
Cody?
I'll double check right now.
I'm assuming the Eminence is going to come out. It's going to be a World Cup Eminence,
Yes.
not
It doesn't
not just an Mbappe.
Well, it
Eminence.
does say Prism FIFA World Cup Qatar in October and Eminence in December. So it doesn't say Eminence World Cup, though.
It could
says
just be
Eminence.
It could just be Eminence Soccer, just general.
I mean, last time they released an Eminence Soccer, it was World Cup. So I'm assuming that's what they're going to do. Maybe they just didn't type it on there. Looks like he's also going to have Panini Authentic autographs on photographs, soccer jersey or soccer balls and jerseys as well. So
didn't he just come out in a team set for Topps that had autographs in it?
Yes, I was about to mention there is a PSG team set, and it has autos of him, Neymar, and Messi all in it. It's going to be a massive set when it comes out.
Wow.
And then
is that an online only thing? I'm assuming.
I'm not entirely
I
sure.
think we have a case, Kevin.
Yeah,
It's
actually,
a transcendent type of product.
yeah, he's a central part of the Team Pacific 21-22 Topps Chrome Paris Saint-Germain team set. No financial details from what I can find, but there will be Panini authentic items that will become available in October on top of all
Well,
that.
it looks like they've kind of locked Mbappe up for a while, right?
It's an interesting move considering everything we've talked about with Topps, like obviously the move when the sticker deal. The World Cup is still locked in with Panini as of right now. But clearly an interesting move by Panini's part that as Topps was taking more and more soccer licenses to get a guy like Mbappe, who I'd say is probably your top 2 or 3 soccer stars still for collectors right now, maybe number
face
one.
of soccer collecting right now.
I think so. Yeah, I would definitely.
Yeah,
think so.
I think collectors could be comfortable, the soccer collectors, that Panini's going to have soccer for a while. I don't think. Well, at least with the World Cup and the stuff and the stickers.
I mean, they clearly are. I think this to me signals that if they're going to keep anything, they have said, okay, let's at least make sure we lock down this World Cup stuff. But again, this can all change with what. Here's the other thing we've come to know is that anytime Panini's like, here's a huge deal we've just made, here's a huge announcement we just made, Topps and Fanatics swoop in and say, here's an even bigger deal.
So a little chess game back and forth. So we'll see what the next move is.
Yeah, we'll see.
Speaking of Fanatics, we've got Michael Rubin going on the Colin Cowherd show about 2 days ago, the new show that Colin Cowherd has, and talking about the hobby for a snippet or two. And kind of the main points to take out of that was he said redemptions are not acceptable, and he doesn't understand why they exist. So we can touch on that first. We've been in this industry for almost 10 years now, and we understand why there's redemptions. Do you think there's any chance that Michael Rubin can eliminate redemptions? And I'll start with Dan. I should say Fanatics, not just Michael Rubin.
Yeah, we've been doing. I'm on board. Figure out the logistics of replacing redemptions and not having them in the product. There's certain players that you're going to need, especially rookies, you're going to need to have in the product to sell it. Like, there's certain marquee rookies that you may not get back in time. You're either going to push back the product, but you have to put that player in or those players in. There's no way around it. I'm all ears if I could hear like what they're going to do to try to alleviate redemptions. I think that is been something that we've talked about forever. I think Panini was really on the right track for pretty much a decade where they were honoring expired redemptions. I think that was basically the best thing that they can do in the situation, saying, hey, like, we know it expired in 2 years, but if we ever do get this card back and you really want it and you want to hold out for it, we'll honor it. I always thought that was a great way of handling the situation. But logistically, these players, you have them for like a very limited time. You have these different events over the years. First one specifically for football, you have the rookie photo shoot. These players are only going to be able to sign so many stickers and so many on-card autos in that one session. You're going to have like 25, 30 releases of that category. So redemptions are almost going to be a certainty.
And that's, on card autos, right? So you can only plan so far. One thing that Panini's done great, because we've been to the rookie photo shoot, is I think it was maybe the 19 or the 18, maybe they started in 18, is they started giving these guys like incentives to sign more. Like there was like Kobe autographed shoes if they signed 7,000 stickers.
It was like drone.
There was like a drone there was different levels because they were aware that like, hey, I know these guys are getting this is on top of what the per autograph, whatever they're signing. They just want these guys to be motivated to give them as many autographs as possible. And And these guys don't like that. I mean, you talk to any of the guys at the rookie photo shoot, and they're like, I've been signing all day. Nobody's super excited about that. They know that's their job, and that's their thing that they need to do for this event, and they do it as much as possible. But, I'm sure Panini was dealing with guys that signed 200 autographs and bounced.
Yep.
Well, it's like, well, do you want some Kobe shoes? Do you want a drone? Like, you got to sign more. And we're not only going to pay you, but we're going to give you incentive. They've done their best to try to get it. But, I mean, frankly, these guys that have $20, $30 million deals, why do they want to sign for $20 an auto or whatever it is? Now, Fanatics may pay more, and there is some incentives with Fanatics. Fanatics does give players profit sharing, so they maybe have a little bit leverage there. But I think it's just, young kids and young players, they've got other things they're doing. Maybe some of them are building a family, and, their lives are too busy to do this. And, you sign them up for a product, and maybe they can't fulfill their obligations because they're too busy, or they get, God forbid, the COVID. Now we're going to get a little COVID notification on the podcast.
2 of them, probably.
Yep. But, God forbid something like that happens, and then they can't even travel to sign. So there's a lot of hurdles in getting these redemptions. C-Rad, what do you think? I mean, what do you think is in terms of, like, improving redemption? Is there anything that they can do?
I mean, the only thing that I can think of is if we started going – and I just one tidbit real quick. I'm not Conrad.
You Raider fan?
Changed.
I'm not Conrad. No, if they get rid of autographs and they make it more of
we don't need that.
I know, but I'm saying like that would get rid of redemptions if it went more towards a paralleled, numbered and base cards instead of guaranteed autographs. And now, over to Conrad. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No problem. I mean, adding on top of what you guys are saying already, I think after listening to him talk on this interview, I mean, if anybody can pull it off with the kind of money that Fanatics has and Topps has, Fanatics and Topps together, and with the Topps experience already, the guys that have been there, I think I'm hopeful that they can figure it out. I really am. Topps already in general does a pretty good job, and I know they only deal with one sport, so it's a little bit easier for them. When they had multiple sports, you did see more redemptions from them as well, as many as probably as Panini. But in general, I feel like Topps already does a pretty good job with not only not having as many redemptions as Panini, but also fulfilling them a lot faster. So with Rubin at the helm and Fanatics taking over, and the resources that they have and the profit sharing and the leverage they'll be able to have over like with the players, because like they're like, hey, you guys gonna benefit off of this too, so let's get this done, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very optimistic that they're gonna be able to solve this and not have, like, if not zero redemptions, very little redemptions.
I'm just scared that they start
the
throwing
products.
people out because, like, yes, you need the rookies, to Dan's point. But, like, say they're like, oh, we just can't get Curry to sign. Well, now he's not going to be in the product. Like, I'd rather have a Curry redemption.
Can't get Brady.
Can't get Brady, okay. And, so then you start picking out products that you need some of these pivotal guys to get in, and you're just like, we don't want to deal with redemption, so we're not going to put it in there. But, like, I think collectors – that's the funny thing is collectors don't want redemptions, but if they pull a Curry card that sells for $15,000, it's a redemption, they're going to take that.
Yeah.
And
to the same point, Curry customers don't want redemptions, but if they get an auto of a guy that's not as high tier as Curry or Brady, if they get a Alex English, they're gonna be pissed about that. Oh, Alex English is on the checklist. No Steph Curry on the checklist.
Right.
Like, what's going on with this product?
Exactly.
Sorry, we had to replace Steph Curry with Alex English.
and maybe
we're trying to move away from redemptions. You understand, right?
Well, and you've seen some questionable redemptions, like, and no hating on like Grandmama or something, but like, if you get like a Larry Johnson, he's like, just you don't need it, right? Like, just.
I mean, I also don't want to sound like it sounds like Doug and myself are like pro redemption. Like we're not. We don't want to see redemptions, but we know, unfortunately, they do add value to the products. Again, because you don't want to have a product that is missing these marquee players.
Yeah, and there's a fine line of value too. But yeah, like you can't like, what if Cade Cunningham didn't sign and they're like, whatever, we'll make a product without him. So I feel like Fanatics is learning, but they're still a little green. So it's like if they take over and they're just like, half the checklist is gone.
That's
because
true.
of the redemptions, and they're like, hey, aren't you happy there's no redemptions? I don't think collectors will be happy.
Would you, I mean, the other way of thinking about it, would you prefer 2,500 points instead of a Tom Brady auto?
No.
I don't think any collector would, right?
No.
I think if they and he's got it right. He says take better care of collectors. That is the main point. I think the fatigue on redemptions, the most fatigue on redemptions is guys that have waited 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I think it's people can wait 3 to 6 months, maybe a year at most. But I think you have to be better and maybe even more proactive as a company to say, hey, this is what's happening. A lot of these, you hear the same story again. I don't have the patience to call, but I've heard so many of my customers that say, I was on the phone with Panini I waited for an hour and a half, and they told me I had to call back, and I called the next day, and then they didn't answer my call, and then I sent them an email, they didn't respond. And you have all that, right? So I think that's the challenge. If collectors knew that there was an expiration date, I need to get this auto by this date, I think they'd be fine by it. But right now, I think the redemption cloud is there's no guarantee on what date you're going to get it.
It's just going to take
forever. You probably see this on Twitter as well. And every time the story of Topps and redemption comes up, there is this one Twitter account, I don't know the name off the top of my head, but he always posts a picture of I think it's a Mike Piazza, Tom Seaver dual auto. That is from 2012 or 2013 that they never obviously redeemed for.
I think it's the Mets collector that used to buy
for the obvious facts that Tom Seaver had passed away. What do you think the best recourse is for situations like that? Do we? Obviously, you're not going to be able to maybe get a Mike Piazza auto that is lower numbered, but you're not going to get the dual auto. Not going to happen. What do you think? What can manufacturers do in unfortunate circumstances like that?
Just leave the Tom Seaver part blank and send them it with Mike Piazza's. I don't know.
Or find another sticker auto of a Hall of I don't know, Nolan Ryan was a Hall of Fame Met pitcher. You could throw him on there. That would make up. I think most people would feel like that would make up for it.
Sure.
I'm sure. Again, it's easy what stickers you got lying around.
But I think I've seen that tweet with that picture of that redemption at least 20 times.
No, I think you need to get a medium and just try to get, bring in Seaver in and sign through the medium.
I know
Hollywood medium.
I know
right?
Somebody from Topps has seen that same tweet. Somebody needs to step in and be like, what do we got to do to just make this go away?
Unfortunately,
it's every day.
Exactly, and there's a lot of that though. It's almost overwhelming for whoever runs their customer service or the redemption department to actually. It's one of those things that you kind of dig a hole, and then by the time you're done digging that hole to fix it, there's more dirt gets thrown on there, and it's like a never-ending thing. So
it's a never-ending hole.
It's you're never getting anywhere. You're never digging in. You're never fixing the problem. It's just continually to pile up on you.
I think that why I think Rubin has the confidence to say something like we are going to get rid of redemptions, and because I think the fear of does that just mean we couldn't get Derek Jeter's auto for this product? Well, there's not going to be any of his autos in this product, which is something I think there's a legit fear there. But I think that Fanatics has so much built-in sports relationships with the NFL, all these leagues, and with the Players Associations, and the Players Associations are now getting a better deal now. Now they are all the players are getting more money back now than they were previously. So I think that they are trying to sweeten the pot as much as possible to be look, we've given the Players Association a bigger cut than they used to. We're giving the leagues a bigger cut than they used to. So now you got to do your part of this, and I think also the Fanatics may have more autos lying around and more stuff that they can make up for it, whether it be signed jerseys, signed memorabilia, stuff like that. So I think that they are banking on all these relationships, and again that they have done so much to basically give the leagues and the players everything that they would want, because there's the players and they know what's happening in the sports card world to some extent. They know things have blown up, and I think that by getting a fairer cut, that is their sort of logic of that's how we're going to get rid of redemptions. We're just giving them more money.
I got an idea. This is a good idea.
All right,
this is a good idea.
Lay it on us.
Shut it off.
All right. Yeah. No. Then I'm done. What about if you actually insert the autograph cards but not autoed into the set, right? Hear me out. So you have the shaded area that it says Topps certified autograph, and I know you're probably going to have a rebuttal to this, but just hear me out. you can go and basically there's scheduled times where this player will make an appearance, maybe somewhere in your area or an autograph signing, and you get to show up and get your card signed because you have the Topps certified autograph, essentially live redemption. That way you get to meet the player and get an in-person autograph.
And that's all fine and dandy, Dan, if we were all not shady.
This is also.
I knew there was going to be a rebuttal.
No, that's
Here's
all
a great
fine and
idea, Dan.
This is the equivalent of you gave me a sweater that's a size too big or small on Christmas. Now you just gave me a chore. You are making me run an errand.
Oh, so you don't want to meet the player?
No, it's fine, but it's like I'd rather just have the auto right there. It's like now I gotta like I had things to do.
Now you got to put pants on and go outside?
Precisely. I had errands to run on Saturday. I had stuff to do. I had to mow the lawn.
I don't want to meet Derek Jeter.
No.
I got to leave my house now.
Yeah.
So how's the auto certified? Does it now get a sticker on it to be certified from the player? That's the only way you can do it.
It already has like the shaded. I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I know. You're gonna have people.
You're gonna have guys practicing the auto.
You're gonna have people who are gonna sign it and then sell it. I get it. Maybe you do have like a sticker that goes on it or something, but. Man,
but I agree with you from I agree.
That idea is awesome.
I agree with you from an aesthetic though. Like, don't use just those plain blue redemptions or the white redemptions. Actually, have the card, and then just put like this is a redemption where the autograph is.
And then you get to you get to redeem it in person and meet the player, and then get the autograph. And then
you could do that. I mean, maybe that's what Rubin.
Maybe they just have like every signing that they do, they have a stack of like cards that they go, oh, you got that redemption. Here you go. You're gonna meet me now.
I'm saying
Cody's like, I gotta get dressed to go do this. I gotta sit in traffic.
Sorry, Clay Thompson. I gotta clean the grout in my tiling. I got stuff to do. I'm a busy man. Busy man.
I was just thinking from the aesthetics of looking at like you hit a big redemption like a logo man, or like you hit that triple auto Curry, Luka, and Trey. And like it sucks to show it on video, like it would be nice to.
I don't even really like to take pictures of it because it's like it's cool, but it's like you don't get the same effect.
Right.
How about like a digital NFT cameo type of like?
Oh, I didn't even think that is how they're going to do this. It's going to be, we don't have enough autos. What if we gave you a 1-of-1 NFT of Steph Curry
and
it's
like a personalized like, hey, what's up? Thanks for pulling my card.
I'm out of the NIFT game.
I'm still huge in NFT, so I'm down with that actually.
I think though.
Got ideas, man. I got ideas.
I mean, we're seeing a microcosm of the hobby right here. You had half of it going, nah, I'm out, and half of it, hell yeah, I'm in. And I just think it would be too divisive.
I actually
too divided.
And I have no opinion really whatsoever on either one of them. I can take NFTs or not take NFTs, but I came up with the idea, so roll with it.
Before we get any further, before we move on, I think another point that he made that I thought was interesting is he said that the marketing in the hobby needs to improve, because I think he said that the budget is less than 1% according to him towards marketing in sports cards,
which is something that we've known that
Well, but they let us market it for them.
Yeah,
that's why.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
which is like their way of like.
What about if you put like all of their partners' marketing into place and have that as a dollar amount?
Right.
I bet it's more than 1%. Because you're right, Doug. Like, I wish I could have a company do the marketing for us.
Right. Yeah. I think that's what. But I was also thinking, we definitely need more marketing. But how do you convey it? It's like how do you convey it in a commercial? How do you convey it in print? How do you convey it on social media that this product's coming out and there's 4 autographs, so you have a chance at a Mahomes, and then people are going to think that it's very hard to market this. And there's probably a way to do it, and guys like him being very smart will probably figure out ways to do it. But I would love that. I would love more in-stadium stuff. I think they need to give more packs out at stadiums. Maybe when you're walking in, you get a pack of Panini if you're going
like
to
the way they give out Bobble's heads.
Yeah, I mean, and that would be...
I mean, why don't we start doing in-stadium giveaways? You know how they section 218, row 14, you all get Yeti coolers? Like, why don't we just do like that, but with boxes of baseball cards?
I mean, we got trading card days in most.
No, but how about a whole box? Like, here's a whole box of Topps Chrome for this whole row.
Damn.
And then you just have people ripping packs in that whole row.
Where are they giving out Yeti coolers to?
My wife got one. at a Giants game.
Really?
She had to carry it back on the cow train, and it was a giant Yeti cooler.
Damn.
Her whole section one.
Her whole row.
Wow.
Oh, this was one row.
Six.
So
It was
that
one.
wow,
It was
that
one
a lot.
row, and it wasn't like a little Yeti cooler. It's a giant Coors Light branded Yeti cooler.
Yeah, they have to start doing stuff like that. That'd be awesome.
I mean, you got, in some stadiums you have 40,000 fans, 50,000 fans. I mean, that's probably a lot cheaper than running a 30-minute or 30-second ad on a major game, right? So
Yeah.
dollars to dollars.
Plus, all those people will bring it home. They'll rip it up and they'll be like, "That was interesting."
No,
Let me
have
look this
have
up."
people rip it up. Like, leave the camera on them. Bring like 4 or 5 cameras up there and have like in between the inning, like you have people ripping it and you're just like showing out the cards like on the jumbotron.
Yeah, but you can't really give hits out that way, right?
I'm saying you get a whole box
Series 1 or
of,
whatever,
of Topps Chrome.
or Topps Chrome.
I definitely have noticed the cards advertised way more during baseball, MLB TV, baseball games. I've noticed it way more there than any other sport. Now it's the other sports have to catch up, which is crazy because I think in baseball, I think when the outside world thinks of like cards, they say baseball cards, but when you're in this world, baseball is easily third in this world.
It's
which is
now that I'm
bizarre.
thinking about it, though, Panini had the summer league banners like the
They
whole
did.
time,
And they
had Mahomes when Mahomes got drafted. The Panini banner was behind him.
That's
So
true. That's true.
they've went out and done that. A lot of soccer stuff they've done. They had Kobe playing soccer one time for a World Cup release in 2014, and he had autos in 2014 World Cup.
There's definitely room to improve. I think though,
basketball
for sure.
was doing a lot. Like a lot of their pregame shows, they had like
Grant Hill opening
up packs and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
Maybe he's looking more at Topps than Panini because I feel like Panini's done a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to explain this whole thing in an ad. So that's what's really confusing.
And I think, Doug, we were talking before. I think you were talking about that you could say, oh, you're going to get up to 4 autos. You could pull, you could pull LeBron, no, not LeBron James, but you could pull LaMelo Ball auto or Mike Trout or whatever it may be. And then the disappointment maybe of the outsider coming in and going, well, I didn't get any of these guys. Like, what's the point?
Right. I thought I was going to guarantee to based on your
Right.
imagery.
But I think that again, I don't want to make a 1-to-1 comparison to what we do in like betting, but like as the sports fan community becomes more accepting of a game of chance like betting and saying, well, it's just fun. It makes it more fun. I mean, I think that idea of like, well, it's always a game of chance, and even with cards, it's not like you end up with nothing at the end of the day. You end up with you break it open with your kids, or you see those cards down the road and you go, oh, look at these. I used to collect these. So you're still ending up with something fun and tangible with the added chance of, for a sort of sports betting community, oh, I could also possibly make a lot of money doing this. There's always that outside chance.
And this is kind of off topic, but it's still a Fanatics topic, and it's just something for you guys to think about. And I want to make the statement that I don't care about game used or player worn. I just like a nice patch. But if Fanatics takes over, what do you think there's going to be more of in terms of relics?
I think we're going towards the player worn.
I mean, what kind of inventory do they have?
They have a lot of jerseys and a lot of hats. I mean, literally everything.
I think the player worn is a thing that will never go away.
But I think it's a match made in heaven for them, right? Because you've got, X amount of jerseys. They need.
And thinking about it like on the same conversation, because they have so much inventory, we can start seeing maybe long gone are the days where we just see the single color jersey.
True. Yeah.
And everything has a nice patch.
I mean, I've been saying this for a while. Like, there is definitely an investment opportunity for picking up true game-used relics.
There could be, but if you look at the sales, it doesn't matter.
I know, but it may, in 10, 15 years, it may matter.
Well, and I think where the play is, and don't hate me for that, I'm just saying, you look at the sales, it doesn't matter. If there was a significant difference on a game worn, use a player worn, then I would say you're right. But game worn, it doesn't matter price-wise. Where I think the play is on like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Bird, guys that have since long retired, and there's only going to be a finite amount of their jerseys out there, right?
Sure.
So I think that's the play. But I know we're running. We got like 19 more minutes here. We've got
And we have about
75 more topics.
Yeah, 13 more topics.
So I mean, we could briefly touch on the card shows. I was at the Burbank Card Show on Sunday. It was madness on Sunday. I heard it was even crazier on Saturday. I heard there was a 2-hour line to get in on Saturday. In fact, some collectors waited in line and didn't even get in because they closed by the time they could get in because there was still a long line throughout the day. A good problem to have. It just shows you how well the hobby is alive and thriving. So Sunday was great. I mean, there was another long line, but not quite as long. I got in, and it was like you couldn't fit any more people in that place. And this was on Sunday, so lots of stuff going down. You had your influencers there. You had tag grading, which I sat through and seemed like. As much as I saw the picture on somebody else's social media account and I wanted to laugh, I actually sat through a presentation. And they look like they have their stuff together. I'll have to wait and see what they do, but they're brand new. It was a lot of cool stuff going down. Props to Rob Veras out there throwing a good show. The airport was literally walking distance to the show, so
that's awesome.
That's why I went, because I was like, I could hop off the airplane, walk to the show, and then go right back when I'm done. So I went out there Sunday, bought some cards, spent my money real fast. And Dan was set up at the All Cards weekend in Denver. So he can talk a little bit about that. So,
all right, the All Cards weekend in Denver, Colorado. I'd like to first off thank John and Mike for putting on an absolutely awesome show. Super well attended. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday night was like kind of like a preview night, 4 to 8. Heavy foot traffic throughout the whole show. Tons of autograph signings from the Denver Broncos, which was pretty cool. And I saw Jake Plummer was there, and he was
Jake the Snake.
He was inscribing Mile High Mushroom Farmer.
Oh hell yeah!
Which was pretty dope.
If anyone's like, why would he do that? Just Google what Jake Plummer looks like now and what he now does for a living, and you'll get it.
So
I don't even have to Google it. I can guess.
So that was awesome. Yeah, lots of.
I think you could take away the mile, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Lots of single cards. Any card you could really think of was out there. A lot of baseball, a lot of football. Surprisingly, hockey cards, super hot. We don't have. I mean, obviously the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup, so that kind of got everybody looking for the Kel McCarrs and stuff like that. But it was crazy. We sold out completely of hockey wax.
Nice.
Wow.
Which was surprising. You set up in the Bay Area, and you may sell a box or two of hockey. So that was
Sharks County, baby.
What's hockey?
Hockey. Yeah, it was pleasant surprise.
Oh, you gotta change your voice for it too. Huh?
Hockey.
Oh, okay. You gotta say it from the stomach.
Yeah,
there.
you gotta get that growl out there.
One thing I noticed, and I wanted to ask you about it, is, I mean, the amount of youth walking around. I mean, and I know we've talked about this at the National as well, but like same thing at the Burbank show. I was like, there's 10, 11, 12-year-old kids with their little cases and stuff, and even in their teens, and then of course you got your 20-year-olds. And it's a nice thing to see, right?
I had some kids like heavily negotiating on boxes too. It was a good time.
That's
awesome. A good time. One kid came up to me and he was like, he's all, yeah. He's like, I figured I'd come up to your guys' booth on Sunday because I know dealers don't want to leave with product. And I'm like, okay. Okay.
How old is this kid?
He was like 10.
No.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was like, I love it.
A little shark, like that kid's gonna be.
Oh, you're hired.
Yeah.
He's deaf.
Is that Mark Cuban's son? Or?
A little Shark Tank right there.
That was Gary's V son, dude.
Yeah. Exactly. Getting them started young.
Little kids asking, how are your margins looking? Like, who are you, kid? Get out of here.
So, to basically close out the all-card show in Denver, I think they're going to be doing 2 shows next year. If you're in the area, even if you're not in the area, I would definitely go out there. We will be setting up both times next year. I think it's a can't miss show. So yeah, again, props to John and Mike.
It's awesome. Yeah, the hobby is live and well. You've got your old. It's just the generations of collectors now is great to see, and it gives you a lot of hope for the future of this hobby and its growth. So. But let's get into the one of the things I couldn't buy at the Burbank show because of this, the 52 Mantle. just all the ones and twos are now $10,000-$20,000 more. But the 52 Mantle sells for $12.6 million this past Sunday. It makes all national news. Great story about the find. Al Rosen, Mr. Mint, rest in peace. And gets into this guy's collection. And gets a SGC 9.5. $12.6 million. Did we ever think the day? I know we talk about that. I feel like this is like
unreal.
Wasn't that when we were like, there's going to be a $4 million card. There's going to be a $5 million card. Now we're at $12.6 million. That's a mansion. Now, not just a house. That is a mansion.
I have to look back at what episodes I should have done it before we went on, but there was definitely an episode, I want to say almost a year ago now, maybe a little less than that, November.
It was an episode, I think it was just me and you.
Yeah, it was just me, you, C-Rat on there, and we were talking about, when are we going to get to a $10 million
I could actually tell you exactly what the episode was, because I remember we were making jokes about grading VHS tapes.
Ah, yes. Which
which became a thing.
Yes. Beckett is now doing that
for a short period of time.
Because you were talking about grading games, I think, on that episode.
We were talking about grading games, and we're like, next is going to be VHS tapes. Like, I'm going to get a new Goonies VHS, and it's going to be worth $1 million, which it probably is now.
Well, I mean, I think Beckett teamed with that VHS grading company. If I'm
bad
not
idea,
mistaken,
Beckett.
Yeah. Well.
Which grading company?
I don't know their exact name, but it's like the official VHS grading.
VHS grading company like that's in somebody's basement, dude.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
That's my business, guys. I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag there.
Basement grading. That's my company.
Might be BGS. Kidding. I guess this guy bought this card in 1991 at a Father's Day baseball card show in Madison Square Garden for $50,000. So, and I believe he told a story. He said he wasn't sure if it was a popular radio DJ at the time that said he was an idiot. And he thinks it was Howard Stern. It said, somebody bought a card for $50,000. You're a moron. So,
I can see
30 years later, this card sells for $12.6 million. What's the tax on that? Is that 30% tax on that?
More than that.
That was 40, right?
38.
38%?
Damn near 40.
And that's different from state to state, right? So he's in New Jersey.
I think there's still that federal tax, though. Who knows? I mean, okay, wait, 12.6, maybe he gets, I don't know, $3 million.
$3 million more than he had yesterday.
True.
Well, he does run a recycling and solid waste business in New Jersey, so he has that.
Take a nice vacation, my man. That was a great investment.
Yep.
Yeah, they had their whole family with them. Now, there are other rumors about this card is that there is a PSA 10 version of this owned by the Diamondbacks owner, Mr. Burns, and apparently he was offered $45 million for the PSA 10, and he turned it down because he doesn't need any money. So some are saying, what if somebody was to crack this out, go to PSA, get it a 10, and then
Are we just assuming it would get a 10?
I mean, if you're PSA, you kind of want to give it a 10, right?
Yeah, that defeats the whole, like, that phrase literally defeats the whole point of grading, right? Like, if they're like, of course they want to give it a 10.
What's the grading fee on that?
Like, if
$2 million?
You can't look at a card and be like, well, we really want to give this a 10. Can we? Can we give this a 10?
I got to say, over the weekend, I was telling Doug before, but it was my sister who actually broke this story to me. It texted me on Sunday morning. Did you see the Mantle card, blah, blah, blah. And, it's like, that's insane. This is crazy. Like, you want to talk about it getting even crazier. It's like, what if I told that to her, like, oh, yeah, someone took it out of the protective case, put it in a different protective case with a different label, and it's now $20 million more. It's like,
how do you explain that?
How do you even explain that?
How do you?
To me, it sounds silly, frankly.
You gotta have some stones if you're gonna be cracking open that slab, though.
What do we think?
you know what?
What if you're like, oops?
You know what it was in, right? Because Sports Card Radio.
It was in a. I got them. I got
the brick screw down
holders. The brick screw downs.
See, somebody had to take that. I wonder if he sent that into SGC because if that was me, I wouldn't want to try to take it out.
No Phillips. No Phillips said.
Well, yeah, but what if he had just kind of kick it off the table
One
or
wrong
something?
move.
There's a lot of moving parts there.
I think cracking this slab is a lot more stressful than opening up a screw down.
Well, I think SGC, I have seen a lot more big cards suddenly, and I don't know if SGC was waiting for this moment, but I have suddenly seen a lot more big cards. I think I saw a Luka NT rookie RPA that was graded at 9.5 by SGC, a Justin Herbert one. So they clearly were, I don't know if it's people saw the mantle and went, oh, I'm going to get more SGC, or if SGC was like, let's wait to unveil some of our big hitters.
This is my whole issue with grading, right? Like, this is great advertising for SGC, right?
Awesome.
Like, again, it gets back to what Doug just kind of said. Like, you're looking at the card and, like, it's in their best interest to give this a high grade.
Well, do you see what it says on there?
Because you know it's going to get so many eyeballs. That instantly has made SGC kind of the go-to for vintage cards now.
Yeah. Right, I know, which is, not great. But, like, look what it says on the card. It says, the Rosen find, and in quotations, finest known example. It actually says that on the slab. So, and that's a quote from Mr. Rosen, who said he had, me and Cody watched the video today. There's a great video at, like, I don't know what national it is, but he's in front of DA Card World, and DA Card World has a small banner, so when they were a little bit smaller. And he was talking about basically that he had gotten, I think, 50 of them that the guy handpicked that were in good condition. They were just the mantles. And then there was an additional, like, 30 that the guy said were in bad condition. So this one was the best out of the entire bunch of this guy had almost 100 mantles in the big find. So obviously Mr. Rosen sold this and did not get anywhere near that. Can you imagine if he still had 80 mantles even at ones? The amount of money that it would take.
Yeah, this was a card that we were actively looking. Not this card.
No.
This, like, a version,
52
like
mantle.
a lower. 52 mantle was what we were looking to buy. Right now, you could not pick a worse time to buy a 52 mantle.
When you guys were looking to buy, how much were they?
I think that 2.5. Dude, it was what? 14,000, 18,000.
No, that one you were bidding on was a 3.5, right? It was.
I thought it was a 2.5.
I think, but it went for 36,000.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh.
But still, that same card, there was a 1 at the Burbank show.
yeah, that
That
card
had a gash in it.
that
And the guy
card-
was asking 45,000.
That
for a
card,
1.
that card at a 3.5 is probably six figures.
You could have been actually, if you were smart, and now it's easy to know after. Is once this auction started, which was like a month auction, right? You could have been picking up mantles.
I think a lot of people were doing that.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
what ultimately jumped up the price.
That's why the one he was trying to hawk it for $45K.
Right, because and somebody probably bought it that weekend. But before we have one more topic after this, is there any card that can break the record? Have we reached the peak of a card selling for this?
Of course we haven't reached the peak.
Well, what's going to outsell this? Cody's got these 3 cards: LeBron, Brady, and Trout.
The PSA 10 52 mantle. When it happens.
Honestly, I think
Yeah.
you're right. The most likely scenario is it's just a better mantle.
Because
will
right
outsell
now,
this.
if you have a good mantle that may be raw or something that you can cross over, and you can get a PSA 10 mantle, that card will undoubtedly sell for
No.
10 million more than what this card sold for. It'd be over 20 million.
Absolutely. But let me tell you guys the next record breaker.
Derek Carr.
85-star.
Ah, there you go!
Michael Jordan,
Yes!
PSA 10.
PSA 10, I 100%
It's back
agree.
haunting
We
us.
love you, star collectors out there.
I don't.
Appreciate it.
I do want to ask,
I disagree.
does this, like, when you think of, like, I guess, like, the common person who has, like, a passing knowledge of cards but isn't, like, delved into this world, kind of like when they think of sort of the card of, like, the holy grail of cards, I feel like they'll be like, Honus Wagner, those tiny little cigarette cards, those ones, that one that I've seen.
More
and you
rare.
go, the Honus Wagner, yeah, that's the one. Has the Mickey Mantle now, is it
I-
going to replace that
I think
as
it's
sort
been,
of the
I think it's
placeholder?
been.
I think the mantle's
I think
always
it's been
been-
the Mickey
Really?
Mantle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
In my opinion, it's always been the mantle.
Yeah, and I think 'cause
since
it's regular
I've been
card
back in the
size,
hobby.
too.
Yeah, regular card size I think makes a big difference. And in print media, how many times have you seen that 52 mantle?
That's true.
Like a million times.
Like we all of us in the industry in the hobby, we understand the importance of the Wagner card, but as an iconic just sports card, the mantle's always been like up there.
Like achievable. You can go to a card show and see the mantle. You could like you just saw one on
I saw
Sunday.
2. The guy had 2.
You saw 2. You see any Wagners?
No.
Yeah, it didn't.
Well, I
think
mean,
so.
yeah, you're talking about. I think there's 10 in the world.
Exactly. So like you'll probably never see one. You can go to big card shows, and right now probably even more so. They're probably coming out of the woodwork right now.
Oh,
Everybody's putting them in their display case trying to.
That's why I think there's going to be a PSA 10 coming out soon. It's probably going to be.
I think there's no better
Golden
time.
Auctions or something.
No
right?
better time than right now.
Oh yeah.
I also tend to think if we're talking like what card could take it over, and we all kind of just said, yeah, it's going to be another Mantle. Like it kind of just because there are a lot of factors that went into it, like the Otis Wagner, obviously why there's just a lot less of them. Even Mantle, the whole freak, like a bunch of them fell into the sea or whatever. They're just lost forever. So these cards are more scarce than maybe some of the other some of these modern cards that we're throwing out there.
Scuba diving, looking for it, man.
You think there is absolutely somebody read that story and then they heard about the thing, but like it's
because
insane.
if you do pull them up, no matter what kind of condition they're in, even if they're just soggy, soggy, jacked up, can't even read it, you're just like balled up, putting a PSA slab.
SpongeBob got them all.
You can make the argument that you could say these are they'll put it like they do with the SGC label, or it says the Rosen find. It'll be like the bottom of the ocean find. It's all wet and it's moldy.
It's like when they dug up those Atari ET cards.
Yes. Or exactly. It makes
that
it
was
extra
like a test run or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, they just wanted to. They said the game was so bad and it sold so terribly, they literally just threw it into a dump. Is what they did. Yeah.
So let's get into a little controversial topic, myth breakers, busting the biggest myth about breakers. And I've seen this chatter all over Twitter, all over that the bigger breakers in the hobby are getting juiced cases directly from the manufacturers and directly from Panini, Topps, whatever, which is manufacturers. But it's not happening, guys. I'll tell you right now. We've been in this hobby for over 12 years. We know how product gets distributed. None of these guys are getting cases directly from Panini. They're getting them from distributors. Distributors get thousands of cases. They don't know what's in the case. There's too many logistics going on to actually get juice cases.
They make too much product.
Yes, they make too much product.
There is just too many cases and too many boxes to logistically think that can happen.
It doesn't happen. Just some guys open more product than the others. You play the odds, and that's how it happens. There is no tomfoolery going on. And honestly, wouldn't you just think that these people would, if we got juice cases, wouldn't you just think we would just open them?
Who's tomfoolery?
Probably a great breaker out there.
Tom Brady's brother. Tom Brady.
I mean, why would these guys even break these cases online then if they've got juice cases?
I mean, yeah. Ask yourself that. That's just at the most basic level. Like, if certain guys, and I know who like everybody says gets the best stuff right now, if those guys like are getting the best stuff, why wouldn't they just open it for themselves and get the triple logo man for themselves? Get the I don't know what else did they put? Trevor Lawrence NFL Shield for themselves,
right?
Like they would just be opening these things themselves if they were getting the best stuff.
Mac Jones Shield. I mean, if we knew that was in the case,
there is not a conversation that is happening where somebody from the manufacturer is tipping these breakers off and saying, hey, triple logo man or Mac Jones Shield or Trevor Lawrence Shield it's in this case.
Yeah.
That is not, I know conspiracies are fun. I get it. But it's not happening. 100% not happening.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And if you just sit and watch any breaker for 24 hours a day, every single day the whole year, you would know that there's a lot of dud cases and then there's some good cases.
More so dud cases than good cases.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, GTS is a big distributor, and they're right down the street, and they have a couple warehouse guys working, and they're pulling from the pallet, and these guys, none of the owners are there, none of the sales reps are pulling the product. There's no way for this person to know which cases are going where. It just doesn't happen.
Are you going to promote a dud case?
Right, exactly.
That's also the thing. You're seeing like these big hits on social media because they are big hits.
Correct.
You're not seeing like the 14 cases before it that basically were all dud cases. That is bad marketing to promote that.
Damn, you mean 1 + 1 is 2, Dan?
Sometimes.
Yeah,
not all the time.
But
sometimes.
I know you guys are conspiracy theorists out there, and I love conspiracy theories.
I said the same thing.
This isn't one. I guarantee you it. I guarantee it. It's not happening. You get cases from Panini as a customer, or you're getting cases, or you're buying from a big breaker who's getting it from distributors. It's all the same playing field. It all happens. Look who got the black Mac Jones was pulled from a kid.
I mean,
who bought it
honestly,
at a hobby shop.
If you,
so
okay, here we go. If you believe the fact that these cases from said group breakers are juiced and you're a customer of group breakers, don't buy from anybody else than those said group breakers.
right, and in
Because
fact,
because if you don't, you're actually doing yourself as a customer a disservice. Why buy from anybody else? Buy from those people who are those breakers that are getting juiced cases.
yeah, it's actually funny that the complaints about it, and there's a few voices in the hobby that are calling out names. It's like, well, you're basically just telling your customers to go to somewhere else to break.
Absolutely.
Because you're saying you never get juice cases.
And you think you're really good at marketing, but your marketing plan is actually sending your customer base to the people you're talking shit about.
Yeah. But yeah, 100% no juice cases. It's not out there. It doesn't happen, and never will. It's just there's too much product made, and there's too many things in place to prevent that from happening. So do not buy into that hype. It does not happen.
And I don't want to, I guess, single anyone out, but like also if you are, I guess, maybe a smaller breaker who is either buying a lot from retail and you're breaking that stuff and you're like, why am I not getting the hits? Well, I feel like you're answering your own question. You're buying more from retail, and there are stuff to get from retail and from blasters and stuff. You can get big hits, but like just like anything in life, if you get the tequila that's $20, it's not going to be as good as the tequila at the top shelf. Right. Like if you buy the blaster boxes, you're not going to get the same hits from
don't buy blaster
from
box
the hobby
tequila,
box.
Man.
No, don't buy blaster box tequila.
Is that the equivalent of like a boxed wine?
Yes, exactly. It's like, yeah, the box wine's fine. It gets the job done, but like, yeah, it's better when you're
Cuervo, you better have some margarita mix, man, because that doesn't go down. You don't want to drink that on the rocks, man.
So that's it. Like you can get, like we've seen it. We saw the kids like who pulled like the Wanderer one that got pulled from like a Walgreens pack. It does happen, but it's not as common because again, the more expensive stuff is gonna have the better stuff. There's a reason it's more expensive, basically.
Yep.
Like you pay for a better. You get what you pay for. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, the one thing I can say that I have seen sometimes is that sometimes, maybe mainly towards product that's hand-packed, is that sometimes, if you get 7 or 8 cases from a distributor, you may see a same player reoccurring.
Sure.
And that might be a situation where whoever hand-packed that, it didn't get mixed up, right? So correlation issues, just like the silver packs, where it maybe didn't get mixed around and you keep seeing that same player. That doesn't happen all the time, but it has happened where like we got and we joke around because we still don't know. We're conspiracy theorists on that, where it's like we got the Mac Jones palette.
Oh yeah, Mac Jones palette. I mean, you're not gonna like when you get a Mac Jones palette, you're not. I mean, we hit a Mac Jones in every single case of Flawless on a ridiculous run. And like Doug was saying, I think when they are put on the pallets to get shipped out to distributors, they are not mixed around. So that said pallet could go to one distributor and it's probably loaded with one player.
It doesn't happen all the time, but I think sometimes when they rush out the product, they don't get a chance to mix it around. It doesn't happen all the time,
but we have seen that in the 12 years that we've been breaking that it sometimes does go heavy into one certain player.
And I think it's particularly more Flawless than it is NT, because I think
Yeah.
NT has a lot more variety where you're not going to have the same player come up again.
Yeah.
But I think with Flawless, there's probably 30 encased guys probably across the board. So it's probably easy for this person's putting all the Mac Jones in, this person's putting all the Trevor Lawrence in, this person's putting, so that's why I think that
And
happens.
that's us coming up with that theory. That we don't work at Panini. We're not packing out the pallets. We just see it
Patterns,
happen.
yeah.
So we come up with that conclusion on our own, but there may not be any truth to that either. Because we're not the ones packing out the product. We're not the ones shipping it. We're not the ones putting it on the pallet. We're not the ones sending it to distributors.
And we get shipments in from different locations, from different distributors, and we don't even, our inventory guys putting him in our warehouse, and we don't know which one came from which one, right? So, we just know that how much the cost is and how many we got. So we're not like, oh, this one's from this one, this one's from this one. But so, it could just be the luck of the draw that we had that day that we had all the Mac Jones. But yeah, so just, juice cases doesn't happen. What do you say to you made the hobby expensive? Like breakers made the hobby expensive. What do you have to say to that? It's because of you, Dan. And your evil pie
I
shirt.
think my response to that is that the market always sets the price for these things. Like, so what the singles go for and what people are paying for the singles dictates where the boxes are going to go. If they're going to go up or they're going to go down.
I mean, breakers did make it where the product is actually
drying up faster,
ripped in a rapid pace, where
Yeah.
you wouldn't see that like a decade ago.
But
I mean, and that just gets back to supply and demand, right? Like, there's breakers who are blasting through 20, 30 cases in a weekend or a day for that matter. They're going to go back and figure out who's selling it. I want more. I have a demand. I have customers that want to rip more. So are you basically going to, as a company trying to scale your business, are you going to tell your customer base, sorry, we don't want to buy anymore because we don't want to make the product cost go up?
Yeah, no.
I mean, that doesn't sound like good business.
And we were
right?
getting some hate on Instagram, and I appreciate the hate. I love people commenting. So if you feel free to leave a comment.
I heart haters.
Yeah, I do, honestly, because I love the conversation. But like, we were giving a lot of hate about the price of Select, and you didn't have we had any problem selling it?
No.
I mean, because that is the demand. And what I was trying to say is, like, we don't set the price. We have to buy it at a certain price, and the market will dictate. And you'll see the singles fall in line. You're going to see these golds. You're going to see these blacks. Yeah, they're not in every box, and there's going to be boxes that you spend if you're buying a box, which we're doing breaks, so we lessen the blow. But you buy a box for $1,600, $1,700, and you get $100 in cards. Yeah, that sucks. But there's also going to be those boxes where they do produce those big hits, and that's why the price is up.
Yeah.
Word.
So, but we got to get C-Red. Speaking of breaking, it's 5:09, 5:10 now. So we got to get C-Red to break. So maybe we'll expand this segment and do a little bit more in the next coming episodes. But, just giving our point of view on this thing, of how this goes down, being in here for 12 years. None of these guys that were mentioned on Twitter that we know, nobody's getting juice cases. It's just not happening. It doesn't happen. There's too many hands involved. Nobody knows what cards are in which cases. I know you'd like to think that. It just doesn't happen. So rest easy knowing that does not happen. Or we could use the marketing and say, it does happen here, baby. So buy into Mojobreak.com, right?
That's all we do is pull fire.
Well, now I know that the little bit of this episode is going to get singled out and put on all over social media.
Nope.
Breaker admits of juice cases.
I know, right? Just going to cut that snippet out. Can you
No,
you re-edit that and just put something
Never
else?
mind. Mojobreak is no fire breaks. And don't let me get you wrong.
We don't pull any hits.
We pull fire.
I just gonna put one.
Don't let our name fool you. We pull fire.
If anyone's listening to this part of it, yes, I'm sorry for the 3 minutes of just constant bleep for the last 3 minutes. So
Yes.
I do apologize to our listeners.
Well, that's it. Well, that's all we got for today's show. Check out the 100-box mixer over at Mojobreak.com for the kickoff. It's going to be happening next Wednesday.
All 100 boxes are loaded.
Yep, they're all the best. Yeah, so Dan went through and picked out all the case hit boxes for that one. So
Juicy
Juiced.
Breaks. I think that's a good breaker name.
Juicy breaks. Juiced breaks.
Juicy breaks.
I like no fire breaks.
that was the greatest name of all time. But catch us on Twitter, Mojobreak_com. Same on Instagram, and we'll see you guys next week on The Hype. Peace.